the point is that the royal family is not ready to do the needful. What they're trying to do with this tour is to recreate and bask in the glory of the British Empire. And these former colonized Caribbean nations are not having any of it. There are three things they need to focus on, and the royal family and this government is not ready to do that. And that's truth, reconciliation, and justice. Truth means acknowledging the ugliness and the benefit, the wealth that he got off the backs of enslaved black people. Reconciliation starts with an apology, which the royal family is refusing to do. And justice is reparations. Reparations were given to the slave owners, but not to the enslaved. So this is what we're talking about. All of this, if they're not ready to do that, what the heck are they going there for? Let me tell you this. They say that they're going there to celebrate the culture, future, and vibrancy of the islands. How insulting and disingenuous.
Well, the future, that's the point.
Please, they don't need the royal family to come celebrate them. They're celebrating themselves, but by themselves. What they need and what should be done, not because they need it, but the right thing to do is for the royal family to address truth, justice, and reconciliation.
There's a time and place for everything. And this particular tour is to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. She has loved the Commonwealth ever since she became Queen. It's a very long time, 70 years. And I think that these things, for once, must be put on one side, and it should be a glorious warm feeling between the Caribbean and the UK. I mean, when Catherine and William went to Belize, there was this demonstration, which was very embarrassing for them. So they moved away from where they were to an entirely different place. So there became another demonstration for people who were very upset that they'd been missed out, that looked forward to seeing the royal couple for a long time. And they were very unhappy that they moved away. So if the whole thing is cancelled, it means there's going to be an awful lot of people who love the royal family, particularly love the Queen, and they will feel that they've missed out for no good reason.
Angela, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed? No. You should be embarrassed. I mean, you talk about there should be a warm feeling.
Hang on, Angela.
Talk about there should be a warm feeling. For who and from whom? You talk about, well, there's a certain thing at a certain time, and we should prioritize. You want to prioritize white supremacy over people's lives.
You just let me finish.
I'm not This is the point. No, I'm going to finish because I let her finish, so I'm going to respond.
Right.
This is the point. The people in these countries are talking about the experiences that they've had. They are the descendants of the enslaved. You don't tell them, oh, put aside your feeling and be warm and receive, and glorify the Queen. That is wrong. And that's why I'm saying you should be embarrassed.
Ian wants to speak.
You see, when you use these terms like white supremacy about a royal tour, you completely lose the argument. Whatever value your other arguments are, it disappears when you go to these.
Of course you would say that.
She can choose her words.
No, I don't need to. Listen, I'm speaking the truth, which you would like to call being ambivalent with the truth. I'm speaking the truth. No, it's not just my truth. It's the truth of the Caribbean people. It's the truth of colonized African nations. Because British Empire
this program is not about monologues. It's about discussion. Are you going to allow me to have a word? Are you going to allow me to have a word, Shola?
Of course, I have. I heard, and that's why I'm responding.
Pause. Come on.
I mean, seriously, this is not the way. This is not the way to debate.
Don't police tone what I'm responding back to you.
Here we go. Here we go.
Shola, just handbrake on. Let Ian speak, and then we'll let you come back in.
This is as Angela rightly says, this is a visit to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. You will admit that there are lots of people in the Caribbean who would like to celebrate this. There are people...
No.
You don't think there's anybody in the Caribbean that would like to celebrate the Queen's
Did you say anybody?
Jubilee?
You said lots of people. They've got
there would be lots of people
in the Caribbean nations who have been trying to address the issue of reparations for years.
Yeah.
They're not interested in celebrating.
That's a legitimate debate.
I want to bring in Angela just a moment. Angela, when William and Kate walked into that row, it did show, didn't it, that we here are a little bit unsighted on some of the things that Shola's talking about. We're a bit out of touch with it.
Yeah, I think that if what she's saying is true, And I think she should be very careful what she says, because I know she's very anti-monarchy in the first place. But if what she's saying is true, there would be no Commonwealth left. There are 54 members who want to join the Commonwealth. They are there because they want to. There's no things that they have to do. They get together and they talk and they sort out issues that they have. And even those who've become Republican want to stay within the Commonwealth. Now, that is because they like the Queen and they like the royal family. It can't be any other way. They could all go
whitewashing.
evaporate.
Even Prince Harry talked about that it is important for the Commonwealth to recognize its roots and legacy, or the royal family to do that.
But these countries are voluntarily members of the Commonwealth. None of them have left.
Aside. This cannot be
All right,
put aside.
Why don't they leave? Why don't they leave? Why don't they leave then? Why don't all of these West Indian islands leave?
Shola,
it's not just about the Commonwealth.
Angela, sorry.
It's about going to this country,
is like turning up at a party
and celebrating the British Empire. There is no British Empire. Nobody's interested in the white supremacy that British Empire
we need to
emulates.
take calls. Shola, listen,
we don't want it.
Listen to.
Hey, good morning. A lot has happened over the weekend. Starting on Friday, my dad had another stroke and is still currently in the hospital. Friday was also the 13th, the only Friday the 13th we're going to have in 2022. We won't get another one until January. May 13th is also the 37th anniversary of the MOVE bombing, in which Philadelphia police saw it as their civic duty to bomb a black neighborhood. That happened 37 years ago on May 13th. Saturday, we had the super blood moon, and Sunday we had the lunar eclipse, which I hope you got a chance to see. It was really cool. And between Friday the 13th and Monday the 16th, there were 5 mass shootings in this country. 5. An 18-year-old white man drove over 300 miles to Buffalo, New York, to kill people because he saw it as his civic duty to kill black people. In Texas, a white man drives over 600 miles to El Paso, Texas to kill people because he sees it as his civic duty to kill Latinos. In Atlanta, Georgia, a white man drove around the city killing people because he saw it as his civic duty to kill Asians. Because historically in America, it's your civic duty to mistreat a marginalized group of people. Yet when you turn on the news, all the talking heads say the same thing. Oh, this is not who we are as Americans. This is not who we are as a nation. This is not who we are as a country. No, it's exactly who we are as a country. It's exactly who we are as Americans. Did you forget that this nation was founded on human trafficking, theft of indigenous land, genocide, and enslavement of Africans? Did you forget that in this country, white men were paid to kill indigenous people because it was their civic duty? Buffalo were nearly hunted to extinction because white people were trying to kill indigenous people. That's who we are as a nation. Even an Asian man took a page out of white America's playbook and shot up a church over the weekend. It's not just us as a nation, but us as a civilization. Western civilization went to hell when we started believing in white supremacy. Mass shootings are a part of white culture. It's what they do. In 1893, British soldiers went down to South Africa and killed about 1,500 Africans with a machine gun. They did the same thing in East Africa, killing over 2,000 people. They did the same thing with the indigenous populations of Australia. More recently, they did the same thing in Sweden, in New Zealand. In America, today is Monday, May 16th, the 136th day of 2022. And so far, there have been 201 mass shootings. This is your culture. It's what you do.